Welcome, everybody. My name is Wendell Bedell, and I'm president of Grow My HVAC, and I'm today's presenter for flat rate repair, maintenance, replacement, pricing, and selling methods. The agenda I'd like to follow is first, talk a little bit about our marketing channel defects, selling and delivery defects that we experience from the consumer through the contractor, to get our products and services in front of consumers. Then we'll talk about the fixer. What do we have for our marketing channel fixer? And that's the intro that we'll use for introducing to who we are as the premier HVAC training organization throughout the US and Canada. Then we're going to talk about why upfront flat rate pricing is needed in our business in order to be profitable, but also to be sustainable and be able to make payroll throughout the year when we're slow and when we're busy. Then we're going to review some proven pricing and selling methods for repair, for replacements, as well as for ductless mini splits. And then we'll talk about logical next steps on how you can quickly achieve success within your business using the tools and the processes and some of the methods we'll be discussing here today. Now, marketing channel. Marketing channel is, how do you get product, HVAC products in services into consumer homes? Well, here's the defects for consumers. 85% of consumers have poor air or water or steam distribution systems. 85% have system enhancement opportunities that they just didn't even know about. 400% of system replacements are actually missed because the contractor actually does a repair, which is usually not in the best interest of the consumer. 98% of all systems are wasting energy right now due to improper startups, and 50% have either an under or an overcharged system. Perfect. Now, contractors. Let's talk a little bit about the problems we have with the contractor marketing channel. 98% of HVAC contractors are either underpricing their work. They're underpricing their work, no matter what the category. 98% have, don't even have a selling system and/or proper payment protection terms in their proposals, invoicing, transactions. So they're unprotected. 65% of HVAC contractors miss system fixes, enhancements, upgrades, and replacement revenues. 10% of all the contractors become unsustainable every year, and 80% go out of business within the first 5 years of operation. So 98% of contractors fail to lock in their product and service customer base. So every year they're starting over again. 98% of contractors don't have a proper written product, service delivery, safety startup standards from a lead to job closeout, causing callbacks, not getting paid, and losses of money due to inefficiencies. 98% of HVAC contractors are not able to hire or retain the best, or provide job training, or provide proper incentives to motivate people to act like owners out there in the field. So meet the fixer. This is who we are, growmyhvac.com. We understand what most contractors want. They want to achieve success for themselves, for their business, and for their families. We can provide you with proven pricing and/or complete business operating systems for your HVAC business. Now, we provide our contractor subscribers with retail, residential, and commercial HVAC selling systems. We provide them best practices for service pricing methods and systems, and we provide them cloud-based HVAC business operating systems and accounting so that they have a seamless business operations. We provide them the lowest cost means of getting paid upon completion versus standalone systems that require double counting entry and and not tied into the individual customers. We provide checklist-based safety first, work delivery, startup processes, and forms to get callbacks down to 1 call out of 100. And we provide recruiting, hiring, training, and staffing processes within your business. So what are the benefits to this marketing channel? Well, for consumers, we help contractors provide consumer-friendly upfront pricing for their repairs, for the consumer's replacement or ductless mini split opportunities. We help our contractor clients provide consumer-friendly guidance on when best the consumer should either repair or replace their decision. For the contractor, its benefits, we help contractors harvest more opportunities on all calls by using proper opportunity checklists and forms. We help them prevent underpricing with flat rate pricing systems. We help them lock in their customer base to the tune of 8 out of 10 customers are locked in that you do business with. We help them become more profitable and sustainable. But probably more importantly, we help them free up more time for themselves and their families. Now, contractors have some very common poor profitability issues. The first is having poor or no lead generation systems and processes. So we help you overcome those. They also have an absence of defined selling and operating processes. And another common poor profitability symptom is there's a lack of company brand differentiation and general marketing skills. And they tend to underprice as their primary closing mechanism for service work, as well as replacement or quoted project work. They typically have low close rates. They usually miss about 65% of their enhancements or replacement opportunities. And they lack general financial management skills or business mix tracking, which is mission critical. And they have poor labor productivity management and they don't use performance-based incentive compensation to keep people focused and acting like owners on behalf of the owner when they're out in the field. Now, kind of what makes us different is that we create a customized implementation plan that's unique for each contractor client that comes into our fold. Then we provide them best practice training for themselves and or for their staff on the jobs that you want them to do based on them using best practice processes, checklists, and forms. And we provide them ongoing implementation support, ongoing mentoring, and when you have a new hire, we actually help tread them into the systems and processes for you so that you have a mechanism for keeping people tuned and calibrated versus what you're expecting for your cash engines operation. So first, let's talk about why upfront flat rate pricing is needed. Well, first of all, we offer 3 types of flat rate price guides. We have a flat rate repair for HVAC. We have for residential commercial repairs. We have a flat rate for plumbing, residential commercial repairs, and we have a flat rate electrical for service and for repairs. And we have whatever brand you wish to carry, whatever your preferred brand is, we build a replacement flat rate price guide that has a built-in selling system that for each equipment size and energy ratings, there is a good, better, best premium option for the customer. So it helps you present yourself in a professional manner. And for any brand, your preferred brand for ductless mini split, we create you a flat rate upfront pricing guide, and that also has a built-in selling system, which we'll be going through all 3 of these books here today. Now, why is it important for using flat rate pricing? Well, first of all, our people are not busy 8 hours a day from January 1st to December 31st. We have periods where we don't have demand. We have periods where there's travel to and fro the job. So the contractor, in repair is only 45% billable. That means on site, out of an 8-hour day, 45% of an 8-hour day is only like 3.6 hours. on average, going from January 1st to December 31st. So what that means is that if I want to keep my guy employed, I better be grabbing another 0.55 of an hour and put it in the kitty so I can make payroll when I'm slow. Otherwise, that's going to come out of retained earnings. Not good. Replacement installers, on a good day, are only 60% billable. I've got guys in New Jersey and New York that are only 40% billable. So what does that mean? Well, for every hour on site to a job, you're going to adjust it by 0.4 of an hour. So you're grabbing another 0.4 of an hour, putting in the kitty, so I can make payroll when we're slow. I can't be sending my installers home too early. I'll lose them. And most contractors don't carry any kind of a warranty on a repair or on an installation. So they tend to underprice about 30 to 35% of their tickets because they're not carrying the true cost of supporting the work that we do. So here's the key reasons of why we need to use flat rate pricing. First, to make a fair profit. You have a right as a business owner to make a fair profit. You want to be able to reduce your callbacks so you have 100% customer satisfaction. But more importantly, callbacks cost you money. That's rework that you've got to pay labor for, but you're not getting any benefit for them being on site. So you want to reduce callbacks. It also helps you sell more service agreements. In fact, if you do it right, putting a big fat discount on your ticket and providing a monthly service agreement option, well, the big boys have discovered no matter what their pricing is, they're closing 80 to 85% of their repairs to a service agreement, which means they're locking in the base, which has two key benefits to the business. One, I get paid in advance of me having to go back out, usually 6 months in advance, because I'm going to do a proper startup. But more importantly, I have a place to lock in my customer. I get to lock in my base. So next year I'm starting off with a book of business that I own. It also helps you sell more fixes and enhancements by having sections in your flat rate price guide to provide the customer options, what they have for options with their system to fix stuff. 9 out of 10 systems out there have issues, multiple issues. So by having a flat rate price guide that allows me to make recommendations about add-ons, system enhancements, and upgrades, it allows me to close 2 to 3 out of every 10 homes I go visit, whether it's on a repair or on an installation price adder. It also helps me sell more replacements. When I use published pricing in a built-in selling system to get down after rebates down to my walkaway, and using energy savings tables and finance tables to show the customer how affordable my option is, helps me close more business. And also, because I'm making sure I got all my cost of goods sold covered and I get paid on the barrelhead when I'm out there, whether you're residential or commercial, you try, it helps me gain better equipment pricing from my equipment vendors because I'm a good pay contractor. Yeah, within a couple of months, I don't even have to worry about making payroll or paying my bills because I got the money coming in now because I'm priced right. Now, consumers like upfront pricing. I mean, it's just like when we go to a restaurant, if we don't see upfront pricing and we're the ones covering the freight for the meal for the party of 6, you get a little nervous when everything's all a la carte. But when you have an upfront price itemized on a hard copy invoice or on a smartphone or a tablet or quoted right from the office, then customers feel a lot more consumer friendly. They feel that your pricing up front with the pennies and cents is very consumer friendly. So let's talk about proven repair pricing and selling methods first. Now, we use a professional built-in proven service selling system that results in around 85% conversion from repairs to a service agreement and 85% conversion from a catastrophic repair, that is one that's more than 40% of the new install, to a replacement at my margin. And I get my callbacks down to 1 call out of 100. Why? Because I'm pricing in, doing a proper manufacturer startup test and verification, which simply states, if you're starting it up on an install, or after a modification, or after a repair, then verify that the system has clean heat transfer services. It's properly charged. It's properly tuned and calibrated But more importantly, it's been verified safe to turn on and leave on for your customer. Perfect. So 1% callbacks is the key. I mean, if you're getting callbacks on a repair, then the customer's thinking maybe you're not skilled, or because that's how they can measure it. Now, the flat rate price guide that we provide, the fixed rate price guide, has 99.9% of all common repairs. It's really a complete selling and pricing system for repairs. It includes technician notes to help prevent costly callbacks. So on certain types of repairs, there's messages to the tech. Hey, if this is this kind of a repair, do this, this, and this, just to verify, to do a checkup. Like on a rollout for a fire and you're doing a terminal, check the harness. Go up and make sure that all harnesses have been verified for their integrity. Repair explanation. If a customer should ask you, and only if they should ask you, because you never use your flat rate price book with your customer, it's not necessary, which we'll explain. But if they should ask you what caused this problem, in simple layman terms, so that I don't get into techie talk, I go down, I find that section where I quoted the repair, and I go down and I discuss with the customer what caused the failure. What's the solution to fix, and then how can they prevent it from happening again by having one of our one of our maintenance agreements. And then of course, when I walk the job, I want to make sure that I let the customer know what they have for options to fix various things like indoor quality, humidification control, better filtration, air cleaning, and better control. So I can actually present to them a solution. But when I do, I always ask them, would you want me to take care of that for you today? So when I make a recommendation for something I see as a solution, and I give an upfront price, I just follow it with, would you want me to take care of that for you today? And by simply doing that, my technician is not in sales. In fact, he doesn't even have a dog in the fight, and the customer sees that. It's their decision, not his. He's simply letting them know what they have for options, and that process works to close 2 out of 3 opportunities out of 10. If the customer wants me to relocate a condenser or fix some insulation, I know I need 4 hours of labor, and I know I need $126 of material cost mine, then I can come right to here and price that up as if it was built into my book by using the labor table. I grab the 4 hours retail, add to that the retail value based on how my book is set up for marking up parts and pieces, my retail value of that I have to add to my labor retail dollar amount of the materials. So those two combined represent the total cost of the job to either relocate a condenser or fix some insulation or whatever. Now, in the price guide, it's designed to be used with performance-based pay. In our pricing, we do recover the non-chargeable time. So the hours on site is what my technician has to beat. So if he doesn't have a part in a truck, then he has to put parts acquisition labor so that he has enough labor in there because he has to beat those hours. And if he does, then we typically provide them performance-based pay. But looking at the codes, on the left-hand side, those 4 digits are where you got your price from. So 0301 is section 3, repair tasking item number 1. The 4 digits to the right have an imaginary decimal point right in the middle. So 0050 is 0.5 hours or 30 minutes. A 0075 is really 0.75 hours or 45 minutes. Now, 60% of your tickets are going to be minor repairs, 60%. Unfortunately, the average contractor out there is around 0.9 hours is what their average ticket billable hours are, which is unacceptable because now you don't have any proof that you started up properly. So by having the technician itemize the price and do the work for recommission and safety check, then your average ticket, 60% of the time is going to be 1.75 hours. But your overall average for a total ticket is going to be closer to 2.25 when you mix in, cap and motor, that's 2.75 hours, that kind of stuff. It drives it up. So you have an average of about 2.25 hours. And when I say it's ideal for performance-based pay, it's because my technician can call in and say, hey, I beat the hours. And if he beats the hours, I then take the dollar amount of the ticket the customer is paying for, and enter that into my Excel spreadsheet because I'm talking to him. So it automatically calculates his 3%, say, of the ticket. So not only does he get wages, straight time during the day or overtime at night, but he also picks up 3% of the ticket if he beats the hours. Now, the recommission and safety test, I'm sorry, I wanted to talk about that. Recommission and safety check is really following the manufacturer's startup instructions that have been published with all equipment going back more than 20 years. And in there, you look at their checklist, like for instance, Daikin, one of our partners. Daikin is, for all their brands, that's their Daikin, Amana, Goodman, and Franklin brands. Those 4 brands are represented by a single startup instructions that simply state that you have to have clean heat transfer services, properly charged, properly tuned and calibrated, but more importantly, verified safe to turn on and leave on. So that's the responsibility who's ever starting this stuff up. So the recommission and safety check is really to make sure you punch the system out. Okay? And if you do so, you're going to have 1% callbacks, but more importantly, you're pricing your tickets up right. That's about a 58% average increase by adding 45 minutes per ticket to make sure you have proof that you did the manufacturer startup. So you can use the manufacturer startup sheets themselves, or in our program, we do give you startup test and verification checklist, either hard copy or built into our RazorSync platform. Offering a 15% discount for your customer to sign up for one of your monthly service agreements will close. Okay, because it's the secret sauce is big fat discount. Small monthly service agreement rate will get you 8 out of 10 locked into a service agreement. There's nothing more fancy than that. So the bigger the ticket and the higher the discounts, the higher the conversion rate. So let's say I have a motor and a cap job and I got $123.26 in discount option, but I'm offering a $14.95 a month service agreement. Well, that's a no-brainer. So the close rates get closer to 10 out of 10 when you're up around $100 in discount option. 15% is large, and it's better than 10 because the customer can't see as easily through it. But a 15% discount and a monthly service agreement option will usually provide an 8 out of 10 or higher close rate. The average, whether it's a 2-year kid out of school or a journeyman, their average will be 8 out of 10 close to a service agreement, not 3, not 1, not when they feel like it, because they should check out of every call with a service agreement discount option. Okay? If we offer discounts, we have to let everybody know about it. Otherwise, we sort of have a problem with the Better Business Bureau, don't we? You know, truth in pricing. You can't give a discount to a lady on the street and 2 doors down. You don't. That's not going to fly for your reputation anyway. 50% of the tickets, 5 out of 10 systems that you're going to go touch are either going to be under or overcharged. So you're coming back in with another ticket 5 out of 10 times because you've already got authorization for the first. So you're going to come back with a separate ticket to get authorization to go ahead and either fix the under or overcharge of the system. That usually adds about 25% more labor per ticket. So 90% of all the homes that you go see are going to have multiple quote options. In fact, the studies show if you go out to 10 homes, you're going to have more, if you go out to 10 homes, you'll have about 20 quoted opportunities to provide the customer options for their solutions. But after I find a solution and an upfront price, I simply state, would you want me to take care of that for you today? And if you're closing 2 to 3 out of 10 in additional quoted work ranging from $300 to $1,500, then you're going to see about a 65% increase in quoted work because you worked. And besides that, my guy is making, he gets $75 for this and $50 for that and $20 for this. And, so he gets an incentive to making sure he's walking the system and making recommendations, because if the customer buys from him by simply using the process where we just said, present the solution, present the upfront price, and ask, would you want me to take care of that for you today? That model will generate huge dividends for the business. So when I'm out there the customer wants me to do quoted work, then I can easily, let's say I need 4 hours. So that 4 hours for this contractor, his book says it's $843.85. Okay. So let's say I've got $73 in materials. Well, the rule is if it's between 70 and 80, you know, halfway, 75 and above, you go to the 80. If it's less than 75, you're going to go with the 70. I have $73 material cost. So I'm going to use the 70 because it didn't make it quite to halfway. So I'll use the 225.75 and I'm going to add that to my labor costs. So using a 1, 2, 3 presentation on your repairs to first state the problem. Tom, Susan, I found your fan motor shorted out today. Then state the fix with a total upfront price. To replace your condenser motor today is $772.91. Then I state the service agreement discount option. However, I can save you $115.94 off today's repair by simply enrolling you into our ProTech program, where we continue to come in next spring and the following fall to keep your system as near factory fresh as possible for $13.95 a month. Shall I go ahead and roll you into that? So setting up a flat rate price guide. So this contractor, the best out of anywhere USA, he hit the average technician out there is about 30 bucks an hour. If you want a journeyman, now again, when you get up close to the Northeast, Boston or LA, that can go to $45 easy, okay, or more. But let's say this contractor has 30 bucks an hour for a journeyman technician. The rule here is you always want to use the highest labor rate level for a person that you would have to hire off the street. What do you have to put in this envelope? Why? Because you want your pricing systems to be able to hire the best without it hurting your financials. So if I pay a guy 30 bucks an hour, but I have my book set up at 26 or 24, then that means I'm losing 4 bucks an hour. You know, I can't have that. So I want to use the highest labor grade level for me to be able to hire a journeyman technician off the street. So this guy, in this neighborhood is 30 bucks an hour. I need to carry some sick days off, some holiday pay, and 2 weeks vacation and contribution to save towards their Obamacare or towards their health care, say of 350 bucks. So 24% of what goes in their envelope will be enough to be able to provide that on an annualized basis. Now, the average technician is only 45% efficient. So this contractor says for every hour on site, he's grabbing another 0.5 of an hour and put it in the kitty. So when it's slow, I can still make payroll. My guys are my competitive advantage. They're my product. So I can't lose my product or my competitive advantage. And I want to be able to keep the best. So by having 45% billable efficiency, I know for every hour he's out there, I'm collecting enough to keep him employed. Okay, with it not coming out of retained earnings. Okay, that's painful. You know, if you look back at 2008 when we lost all those contractors, even big ones, it was because they were not carrying enough non-chargeable time. And when the pay stopped, like on a government job, and they have to make payroll in 30 days, well, guess what? They didn't have the money, and they went out of business because cash is king, and nobody will loan you payroll. They'll loan you assets and, you know, physical asset stuff and improvements and cars and vehicles and all that, but they won't cover payroll. This contractor has about an $8 per hour truck cost. The reason why we include the truck and the person together is because, one, they're both consumable. You know, the labor hours, once they're gone, they're gone. The truck, you're going to be beaten at like a racehorse. You know, in fact, the guys actually drive it like a racehorse. They go too fast, they put on the brakes too much, you know, so they really beat them. So I got to keep the truck on the vehicle on the road, plus replace them. We just did an analysis the other day on a brand new vehicle or a lease that's closer to 14 bucks an hour to be able to maintain it and pay back the mortgage. Okay. Now we carry a 55% gross profit margin contribution because after a 15% discount for them to sign up for one of my service agreements, I need to transfer at least 40 to 42% into service. Why? Because my overheads are around 35% overhead in service. And I haven't, you know, that'll be plus or minus a couple percent. And I want to at least put 5% into retained earnings. Now the markup on my parts The markup on my parts I can keep if I don't have a callback. So yeah, I'm booking it at 5, but I could do up to 22% net if I don't have callbacks. But I got to carry something in there for callbacks because I have to guarantee the 5 to the owner, right? But if I beat the, if I don't have a callback or a chargeback or anything, I'm good. State, most contractors have to pay a tax at the counter. So this contractor has a 7% tax rate. Chicago, for instance, has like multiple. You want to use the highest. So if there's a 6 and a 7 and a 12, you want to make sure you use all 3 to combine, so I think it was like 13% if you're around one of the airports up there in Chicago. So I put 13% in here. So it's a combination of, city, state, and local. Now the markup on my parts, I need, for a small part that's costing less than $10, I need to make sure it's times 5 because if I have a callback, there's not enough in it. There's still not enough in it for handling the labor chargeback. But on average though, I'll transfer 40 to 42% into service and I get to keep. I get to keep the markup on the parts if I don't have a callback. Now the 15% discount option, the reason why we use 15%, we set the book up at 55, we got it at 15 for the discount, so after discount, I'm still transferring at 40 or a little bit better than that because of efficiencies to 42% into service. But the 15% lures a consumer, especially when that 15% could represent over $100 in discount option for them to sign up for a monthly service agreement. So I can lock in my base so much easier by having flat rate pricing. So 50% of all the installations are not charged properly. So why do we need a repair pricing and selling standards? Well, because 50%, resulting up to 50% higher operating costs because they're either improper startup, test and verification, untrained installation personnel, poor contractor installation methods. 85% of all installations fail to meet airflow requirements, resulting in poor indoor comfort due to too large or too small equipment, improperly sized equipment, improper duct distribution or improper diffuser type or location, leaking or disconnected ductwork, improper system balancing. 90% of all the calls you go on result in a technician quoting something to the tune of 20 quotes out of every 10 homes to improve comfort, indoor air quality and filtration, improve humidity control, to improve safety, fixing system installation errors, matching the system to the home use, reducing costly energy waste, and avoiding unnecessary repairs. So you want to be able to harvest your opportunities by using a call handling checklist and forms. So post-call, you're still communicating with the customer, which results in the technician or selling tech or comfort advisor closing 3 quoted jobs for every 10 calls, averaging anywhere from $300 to $1,500 in additional quoted work being closed. So again, that represents around a 65% total revenue gains in service, and many times that's how much you're adding to an install as well. Now, the technician greets the customer and introduces himself, confirms the purpose of the call, then interviews the customer about the patient because the patient can't speak for itself. So I want to ask the customer, is there any hot and cold spots? Are you having any noise level issues? Does the air blow too hard or not enough? Is there filtration need issues? 6 out of 10 people in the world have asthma or allergies. So a family of 4, you have better than a 60% chance that you've got 1 or 2 people in the house. You got a real high problem, like 8 out of 8. I think it's closer to 80% of all homes have an issue with filtration and UV light cleaning opportunities. And energy control. How many times have you seen an analog thermostat or a digital-based thermostat and 2 people work and kids are in school? Huge opportunities for better control. Or they're gone during the day, or the week, or the month, or the year where they can take advantage of setback. So before I walk the job, physically walk the job with the customer, I hand the customer a customer awareness handout. So and I say, Tom, Susan, I have my company put together this customer awareness handout that you can take a look at while I'm here today on today's call. Now, this is laminated both sides, it's spiral bound. But what this does is tells you what you have for options with your system. This first page tells you why we're considered the premier heating and air conditioning contractor in the area. This next page tells you the kind of money you can save with one of our maintenance programs. This next page shows you the types of system enhancements that are installed on equipment like yours, but I won't know until we take a look. This is a life expectancy table for heating and air conditioning equipment. We're in this column here. These are our unbelievable guarantees, warranties, and assurances. And this is a repair and replace decision chart that our consumers use to determine whether to either repair or replace their heating and air conditioning system. And this last page talks about what you can expect from me today. I'm going to go back out to the truck, get my tools. When I come back, I'll meet you at the thermostat. From there, we'll look at the equipment inside the home before looking at the ductwork distribution system attached to it, and prior to looking at the equipment outside the home. However, Tom, Susan, if I find anything at all that could save you money or improve your operation or make it safer in and around your equipment, I'll do my best to explore how to fix those situations for you. Now, if the customer indicates a personal need for filtration stuff or a system need to fix stuff, then go ahead and point out right within your system enhancement price guide section of your guide, like whole house air filtration or air cleaning. Always end though by saying, shall I go ahead and take care of that for you today? And what happens is the studies show that because they're in the analytical side of their brain, when you talk about the solution with an upfront price, when people buy based on desire, so by asking them, would you want to take care of that for you today, forces their brain to go over to a different side of the brain, do they? And when they go over there, they see that, yeah, they want that. They don't want to go through another year, another spring or fall, snot hanging because they got asthma allergies. So Bill Eford said, using the repair and replace chart, just that. We secured 2 jobs for our replacement crews within the first 10 days of the month. The remainder of the month, we secured 19 jobs. I attribute our amazing improvement to your turnkey service call handling system. So most contractors see about a 400% increase in sold replacement jobs versus just doing the high ticket repairs. That was not really in the best interest of the customer. So what's nice though is that I lead with that, but then I talk about, because there's 6 options on the repair side or replace side. So I go over, that they've also probably had, the equipment's more than 10 years old, 10 years and older. There's another solid reason to go ahead and replace. They've had multiple repairs, including this one over the last 10. That's another solid reason to go ahead and replace. And the unit's either oversized or undersized, which is another reason to go ahead and replace. And chances are it's less than 12 SEER. So there's another solid reason to go ahead and replace. So most customers see 3 to 4 solid reasons, each one standalone, to replace versus making a repair when it's over 40% of the new install. So now let's talk about replacement pricing and selling methods. 85% of all replacements are purchased at full margin from the technician who found the catastrophic repair. Let me repeat, 85% of all replacements go to the technician who finds it. Meaning, if that repair was more than 40% of a new install, the technician who finds that, usually 85% gets it, not only gets it, but gets it at no discount. They get it at full margin. However, 15% go out for request for a quote. Why? Because they didn't trust some or all aspects of the technician or the company he or she works for. So they're going to get another price because they didn't trust the guy. Okay, so you want a selling system that's built into your price guide to be able to handle both these selling situations. So based on no trust. So when people buy an HVAC replacement system, 42% are going to base it on reliability. So if a question comes up, say, hey, I heard that Train is better than Goodman, and you're a Goodman guy. Well, then you just whip out, nah, I don't know, I wouldn't buy into that, Mr. Customer. Our product comes with a 10-year parts and labor. So that's a quality statement if I've ever heard one. 19% are going to be based on cost. Isn't that amazing? You would think it'd be higher, but it isn't. 18% are going to be based on energy efficiency. They want to be able to sell the house some point in time, or they want to avoid, they know energy rates have gone down, but they know they're coming back up. They've already seen that. If you think about it, most of the oil and gas productions are done by oligopolies, meaning I used to see, I'm not accusing anything, but I used to see one major manufacturer announce a 5% increase and everybody else follows. Well, when that happens, that means it's not true competition. You got an oligopoly sitting there. They're controlling, a very few people are controlling the product. Look at OPEC. For years and years and years, they dominated, but right now, that's only one indicator of price. Right now we became a larger exporter of energy than they. So anyway, consumers based it on energy efficiency. Most people are green today. There's a lot of news, positive press news about being green, that kind of stuff. 18% are going to be based on comfort, and 2% are going to be based on indoor quality. Making it healthier to breathe inside your home and make it easier. And 1% are going to choose, based on humidity control. So again, the two types of selling situations. When one is the repair that's greater than 40% of a new install, and the other is a request for a quote due to no trust. So the first one, the selling tech handles. The second one could be a selling tech or comfort advisor. Now, if it's a catastrophic repair, greater than 40% of a new install, then the selling tech leads with the best option of good, better, best premium, leads with the best option with no discount. It's not about low price. It's about get me hot or get me cold. That's why you don't have to use a discount. On a request for a quote, due to no trust, then the customer did not buy from the original contractor due to no trust. So I want to use the sales presentation portion of my guide to overcome four of the common objections that they may have about the other contractor that gave them a price. Now, the selling tech comfort advisor is going to, again, lead with the best option of good, better, best, premium option. He's going to lead with the best. Now, the selling tech comfort advisor gets down on a request for quote, gets down to the walkaway. So let's say my book is at 45% gross profit margin and my walkaway is at 30. Then I can use a 15% rebate to get down to my walkaway. Or I can, if I have financing of 5% or 10%, but I don't want to go below 30, then I'll either use a 5 or 10% rebate. So because I know I got to include the financing. But either way, I have a selling system to get down to my walkaway all the time on a bid, because I want to close at least 65% of my bids. So by wowing them in the beginning of my book with who we are, what makes us different, and give them a compelling reason to buy from me, but I also have to show value. Okay, by having a rebate off a list price, let's say my price is $10,000, but I'm selling it after 15% rebate of $1,500 off, then I'm selling an $8,500 system. I mean, it's a $10,000 system for $8,500. So even if my other contractor competitor is $300, $400, $500 less than me, I'm giving the customer a value for the money. That's how consumers buy big ticket items now. Now, the selling tech comfort advisor identifies energy savings by taking out the old system and putting in the new. So they're going to find the total monthly energy savings. And also they're going to find out if I was to, because most customers pay credit card or check, then I use the home equity table to find a payment that closely matches the monthly energy savings. So I can show the customer just how affordable that option that I chose is. So in the price guides that we build, no matter the brand that you carry, you have to understand 90% of the success of the install is you. So you got to communicate it in the sales presentation. For instance, you're going to set the book up in your preferred equipment brand. Then you're going to talk about who you are and what makes your company different. You got to give them a reason to buy from you. And then you're going to talk about the regulatory compliant approach that you're going to use, the 7-step approach you're going to use that's endorsed by the Department of Energy, local utility companies, to derive the lowest possible cost to them for their replacement. And then you got to communicate to the customer, why is it that your company has to set the standards of performance in the area? Because 90% of all installs in your neighborhood are installed incorrectly. So if they want to be in the top 10% of a successful install, then yeah, they want to be doing business with you. And then what can the customer expect before, during, and post installation? You know, they know this is a long-term relationship, so you got to communicate that you're going to hold their hand throughout the life of the equipment that you're recommending install. 85% of all the installations fail to meet airflow requirements. So that means you're doing some ductwork fixes 85% of the time, or at least recommending them, due to too large or too small equipment sizing, improperly sized equipment, improper duct distribution design, improper diffuser type and location, leaking or disconnected ducts, and improper system balancing. So many times you're proposing to the customer some additional work to fix the system inefficiencies. 90% of the calls should result in the technician quoting options to either improve comfort, improving indoor quality filtration, improving humidity control, improving safety, fixing system installation errors, matching the system to the home use, and reducing costly energy waste. Now, because you're doing a replacement, you want to make sure that you don't have a situation where you miss stuff. Okay, because if you miss stuff on an install, after you install it and they still have a problem that should have been resolved, but you didn't let them know that they should, then you're going to have an unhappy customer. Plus, you're going to miss a whole bunch of stuff. You know, so you want to interview the customer about their home use requirements. You want to be asking them about their comfort requirements. I mean, you want to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. You can't take a chance at that, of not doing so. You want to be talking about health and safety requirements. Property requirements, you know, do they have an exercise room? Do they have an entertainment center? Is the heating air exchange system proper? You know, most homes are set up at 78 degrees in the summer months for air conditioning. Well, guess what? If you want to exercise, you're going to be at around 68 degrees. Otherwise, you're going to die in there. You know, you're going to suffer. You're not going to use it. And financial requirements, you know, do they need financing? Do are they moving shortly? I mean, you know, is this an investment for the, you know, is this investment property where they don't have an interest in the energy savings? I mean, you need to know some stuff so that you're putting the right option on the table, the right best option for the customer, as if they're family. Now, harvesting your opportunities using best practice call handling processes and checklists, like the system condition report on a repair, but also using the home use and livability survey, which includes the installed right system diagnostics form. You're going to be adding 2 to 3 quoted work to installs, ranging anywhere from $300 to $1,500 on average, because you are not missing stuff. The next is pricing. Now, you can have a handheld and price it in the field or from the office, an installation, so you could send it to the customer via email for approval so you can execute work, or you price it up and put on, you know, you price it up and provide the customer a written proposal. Now, if you have a quick ad where you need to add labor and materials, just like a repair, if you needed, let's say I needed 5 hours of labor. Well, based on how I set my book up, 5 hours of labor, to me, I can add $693 to my job, my base price. And that $693 is at the same rates that are built into my financial setup for the rest of my book. And let's say I have $182. So halfway between 175 and 200. So I'd probably go with the 175. So I'd grab 358 that I'm going to add to the 693 for that additional work. Like up here in the Northeast, we have furnace systems. So if you want to put air conditioning in a forced air furnace system, you have to increase the ductwork. It's not large enough. So if I have to add labor and materials to make that happen, I can come right to my quick job adder and price up any labor, known labor, to get her done, And any loan materials, if I know the actual cost, I can price that up retail and slap it right onto my price to make the job work. The next thing I'm going to do is get low using a rebate tables. So let's say I have a job that's $10,460. Well, I go over to the base installation price and I slide my hand down and I see that 10,500 is the closest versus 10,000. So 10,500. So the most I can get if they don't need financing. If they don't need financing, I can take $1,575 off that $10,460. So that's like $8,000 sell price, around $8,000. From a $10,460. Now, if it's going to cost me 5% for 12 months, same as cash, for instance, then the most rebate that I can give the customer is 10% or $1,050 off that $10,460. The $10,460 with a 5% financing plus a rebate of $1,050, I'm still at my 30 points. So if I'm at 45 and I want to walk at 30 with or without financing, then I can use a rebate based on with or without financing. So in this case, I have a finance cost of my job install price. So if I sell a job, 5% of the top goes to the finance company. So I can have 12 months same as cash. And then I can give the customer $1,050 to get down to my walk away. I only need this on a bid, on a request for quote, right? Don't usually need to use this. And then if it's, let's say it's 10 or 11% for 60 months, no interest. Well, that means I got 10 taken up in financing. The most I can give the customer is 5%, which is tier 1. So I can put a $525 rebate off the $10,460, fully knowing I still got 10% left in my price to pay the financing costs. The next I go find the monthly energy savings. I'm taking out an old system and I'm putting in a higher energy efficient new one. So I can go in and identify the monthly energy savings. And then I go to the home equity because my customer usually pays me credit card or check. And I've already know this because I asked them before I did this what their financial situation was. But I can go and find a home equity payment based on the size of the job sell price of the customer that as closely matches my energy savings. It could be 36 months paying back, or it could be 48 months. But I find a payment, whether it be 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, whatever I need to show the customer how affordable this system option that I'm providing the customer is. Then I itemize the price on the investment option worksheet or on my handheld. So I can provide it to the customer for their approval via email, or they can look at this so I can advance them to a proposal agreement, which I always use hard copy. I don't like using an automated system for that because in a court of law, they've had to look at your terms and conditions prior to executing the agreement. All right. It's okay for repair tickets, but on an install, you have to make sure that you've got the terms and conditions because there's a lot of liability protection there for you. You don't own stuff that you didn't do. Okay. So then I show the customer just how affordable, after the energy savings and after even making a payment to home equity, this particular install is going to make you $100. It's actually going to make you an additional $100 in your budget. So it's going to make you money. So then I use an itemized checklist. Now, in our program, we have HVAC replacement, we have boiler replacement, and we have ductless mini split replacement agreements so that you have proper terms, conditions, and features and benefits that match up to those types of system installations. So let's now talk about flat rate repair pricing financial setup. Now, a crew chief, again, usually makes about what a good journeyman makes if he's good. So this guy is using a $30 an hour, but I see an upper, I see it go as high as $40 an hour, what I have to pay him. This is without benefits and insurance. And then a helper is usually around $18. I've seen that as high as 25, 28, depends on where you are, what part of the country. 60% billable efficiency. Okay, but I do have a lot of contractors that are operating at 40%. Okay, that means for every hour on site, they got to grab another 0.6 of an hour just so I can keep my boys employed, or my gals, whoever I have out there. You enter the state tax rate. I've seen that go as high as 13%. Now, if you're in a suburban area where you have lots of density and opportunity, it's usually about a 15-mile round trip radius. That's common. If it's rural, you could be 30 miles or more. I've seen parts in Texas where it's 45 miles round trip. If it's city, a lot of times it's 5 miles, round trip, 2.5 out, 2.5 back. Now, the average cost per ticket per mile, it's around 47 cents for recovery of fuel, oil, maintenance, and about another 25 cents for depreciation of the mortgage and lease. Because when you get ready to trade it in after 3 years, it's run beat. And if you didn't grab enough money so you can replace that vehicle, then it's painful. Now, most contractors don't charge a truck cost if they're using a mileage rate. But if they did, this guy would probably use $8 an hour or up to $21. Depends on the mileage. The next you want to enter job risk, job proficiency, and warranty. So the average contractor is around 5%, 2% job risk. What does that mean? Well, that's the flat on the way to the zoo. That's the equipment showing up with the wrong stuff, or we made an error in our design, and it's going to cost us more. Labor proficiency. As we grow the business, not everybody is humping like they normally would. If I have to add new people to my existing team, that infusion of new labor a lot of times caused me labor proficiency. So I grab about 2% for that. And then 1% warranty support cost. I need to carry money in here for callbacks. Okay, if I don't have a callback or if I don't have issues, I can keep that whole 5%. It can also just drop to my bottom line. If I do geothermal, a lot of times I'm using a subcontractor to install the loops, whether it be vertical or horizontal, or in a well, or whatever. So usually they give you price rates based on small system up to big system, because the loop is bigger for big system versus small system. And then going from the electrical panel, I got to go 220 over to the new condensing unit. So I need to carry a sub, and the average out there is around $400, but it can range from $300 up to $800, depending on where you are in the country. But that sub rate wouldn't include any kind of panel expansion upgrades or sub panels, and it doesn't include any difficult access. If you have difficult access to go from point A to point B, then you got to compensate for that. So the next is we enter utility rates because we do produce energy savings tables. So when I take out old, put in new, I can actually go to its table and use a chart, run my hand down what I'm taking out and move it over to what I'm putting in, and it tells me what the monthly energy savings is that quick. Okay, so the energy rates of, say, electrical is around 12 cents an average, $2.71 for gas MCF, $3.15 per gallon for propane, and $3.05 right now for oil. Okay, so that's gone up. All of them have gone up already since this last year at the same time. Okay. But those energy rates are used when we calculate energy savings. Now, in line 21 and 22, you're going to enter your local area annual heating degree days, hours, and annual cooling load hours. If you don't know, a lot of times you put a question mark there for us so that we look them up. We look up the ARI tables for you based on your geographic location, so that the energy savings tables, which uses the energy rates and the hours to come up with energy savings, part of the energy savings calculation. The next thing is we put in home equity, because we kind of lean on the home equity table because 90%, 95% of my customers pay me check or credit card. So I use that table to show affordability. But I also have bank loan rates. Like we use Citizens Bank, and they have a preferred, home improvement loan rate around 6.99 APR. Home equity is still better, but sometimes people don't have home equity. So but they have a loan, they can get a loan, based on their income. The number 25 is we leave blank. And then we, overhead for most installation departments is 25%. In service, the overhead to run the service department is around 35%. Why? It's about 10% higher due to having office administration support to answer the phones and to process tickets and that kind of stuff. If you have a commission person. It could be if it's if you're not paying a commission because it's you, then you put a 0. If you're paying 2% to the tech and the job is sold by others, usually it's 2% the tech gets. If the technician books it, just like a comfort advisor would, then he gets 4%. And if you have a comfort advisor, typically they get around 8% of the book gross profit margin. Now, the net profit before taxes, if you're paying 8% for a comfort advisor, then your average net profits are going to be before tax is going to be around 12%. If you're giving 4% to a selling tech because he's selling it and booking it, then your net profit could be around 16%. If you're paying 2% to a selling tech who others sell it for him, then you can make it all the way to 18%. And if you don't have any commission being paid, then you can go with a 20% net profit before tax. So on average, the average guide out there is around 45% gross profit margin, but I do see some as high as 65%. I do see some as high as 65%. Now, we also provide ductless mini split. 43% purchase a mini split to solve a hot or cold spot. 25% converted a garage into a living space, and 27% purchased it because they were tired of lugging the window units into place. So again, like the HVAC replacement, there is a built-in selling system. And again, we build the book in any brand, whether it be Mitsubishi, Daikin, Fujitsu, it doesn't matter the brand. We've got it ready for you. Now, it's built on our pricing is a complete system based on the number of evaporators and size of the evaporators and the combination thereof. For instance, let's say I have a 2-zone system and it goes up to 4 times, and I need a 15,000 BTU and an 18,000 BTU in-line device hanging on the wall. So I get 2 zones, one's 15, one's 18, and with the install, with the line hide, and running electrical from the panel, on over, it's $12,293 before any kind of a rebate. So I have an itemized pricing, and then and if I have additional work that needs to be done, I have another quick job adder built into the ductless mini split, because sometimes you have some access issues or location issues. I've seen times where you have to hang it off the side of a building because there was no place on the ground, and it's 2 floors up. Well. Either way, you need to be able to add to your base price labor hours, known labor hours to complete an install, and known equipment costs. So let's talk about logical next steps. You can go to our growmyhvac.com, and up on the left-hand top left corner is a link called HVAC Plumbing Electrical Flat Rate Price Guide Set. When you click it, you land on this page showing 3 separate icons that you click on so you can demo the flat rate price guide, or the flat rate price guide, or demo the install, demo the ductless, and order it, or order all 3. So you can order a single guide in any one of those categories, whether it be a ductless or an installation or a repair, a single guide for $50 a month. And we provide that to you in a PDF file. So you can print it local and put it up on your iPad or tablet. We also offer all 3 guides: HVAC repair, replacement, and ductless mini split, all 3 flat rate price guides that include an import file for your QuickBooks and/or field management software for only $79 a month. So for $50, you get 1 without any imports. $79, you get all 3 with imports. And you can load it up onto your iPad or tablet. You can print it local, as many books as you need, but you can have it right there ready for on your iPad or tablet. So when you submit the flat rate price guide order form off our website, we usually deliver your fixed rate repair back to you within 24 hours. And on a replacement, we ask you to confirm your configuration for good, better, best premium, the make and model numbers that are matched up to each thing, as well as provide us your current equipment line pricing for import. Once we get those 2 items, it takes about 3 to 5 business days to produce. And of course, you have unlimited updates. So We deliver to you as a download PDF file first. We then schedule a private go-to meeting to review your pricing and how to use it in the field. We then provide you unlimited access to live and recorded user staff training. So we train your guys in the soft skills, but also the mechanics and how to properly use the books in the field. So not only is it a competitive advantage, but to sustain profitability. We provide access to print documents for repair tickets, service agreements, and installation contracts. You have access to these as part of your flat rate price guide order forms. Now, once you approve your books, you're going to go ahead and print as many copies you need local using the PDF file, but we send you an import file on that approved price guide with the same date as your approved PDF file, so you can import it into your QuickBooks or your field management software. We schedule private go-to meeting online for staff user training, and we do so continuously. So we may have helped you install the pricing system this week, or selling system this week, for either the replacement or ductless mini split. But if you hire someone that's dedicated to be used to do these types of functions for you in the future, then you just let us know, and we schedule, could be 7:30 in the morning, your time. Or you can go to our site and click on the residential business operating systems so that you can pick and choose the different types of options you have for business systems. Everything from including websites or field service management software, but you're going to select the right package, residential and commercial or both, that meet your growth needs. Then we're going to help you integrate our proven HVAC business roadmap, complete pricing systems, operating work delivery processes, and right at your desktop, online staff implementation training and support to help you transform your business. And then, of course, you go to step 3, where you start enjoying sustainable success within a very short period of time. Now, all of our subscriptions are 100% guaranteed for your success. We guarantee 65% increase in service revenues, 85% of conversion repair close to a service agreement, and about a 400% increase in high margin replacements. And again, it's all about helping you, like we do with many hundreds of our contractor clients throughout the US and Canada, transform them from worst operations to best practice operations. And we, in writing, say that you're going to recover 100% of everything, usually times 10 of our program cost over what you pay. Now, for 2 users, with our RazorSync platform, is only $34 a user a week. If I had 7 users, and I'm subscribing to RazorSync and to our flat rate price guide, our business systems for residential, complete residential, that's where you have residential repair, residential installation, human resource management, and financial management, and complete footprint as if you went out and bought a franchise. That includes also a complete business system that ties into your QuickBooks. For 2 users, it's $34 a week. For 7 users, it's $12 per user a week. If you have 15 users, that's 1 in the office and 14 in the field, it's only $7 a user a week. And of course, if you have 45 users, that's 1 in the office and 44 in the field, it's only $5 a user per week. So that's why it's easy for us to guarantee the program. So go ahead and start today. Call me, Wendell Bedell, Business Growth Coach, 603-557-1611, or email me, wendellb@growmyhvac.com. Now, I'm going to check to see if I have anybody with their hands raised. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Looks like everybody's good. They don't have any questions. So, look, I'm going to be sending you a copy of today's webinar for attending, and also make myself available to you if you'd like to meet privately via GoToMeeting to see how we could help, see if there's a good fit between your company and our program, and then help you expedite your growth in your business. So again, thank you guys for attending today. I look forward to helping you grow your business in the very near future.